So Stan, it's good to see you again. Obviously, the last time we spoke, it was probably around March time. Since then, you've been awarded the league title. Can we just get a quick reaction to that?
Well, obviously we're delighted, delighted for the lads. Especially the ones who aren't here this year. This unfortunate event that's happened. It had a big effect on who the club could actually sign and who they didn't. So it was pleasing in a way because obviously we lost a few. So it was really nice that the lads who haven't got kept on can go away with the good memories of the time. Yeah.
And not to spend too much time on the topics, it's just been all over the news. But from your perspective as a youth team coach, how has it been dealing with a youth team during the coronavirus pandemic?
Well, obviously for everybody else, the same as everybody else, it's not been ideal. We finished early, which was obviously has an effect on the coaching time and the playing time that you have with the boys. We started a little bit later, and that's the same reasons. The effects that it has. They're missing the time out on the grass, and so in a way you play catch up a little bit. But apart from anything else, we're not at the ground, we're at the training ground, we're not at Cantley, we're not mixing with the first team. So we're based down the Keepmoor. So while we've got great facilities down here, we don't get that sort of continuity that we had up there and the mixing with everybody. So we've become a little bit detached, and that's through no fault of anybody. It's just the state that we're in, and we've got to accept that, and we have. So we're cracking on with it, and we're making the best of it we can.
How does that work for Darren Moore then, being able to keep his eye on the youth team? Is he just doing it through talking to you guys on a regular basis?
Yeah, just talking with me on a match day. Obviously, Liam Ravenhill's up there with them. He went up at the start of the season, so he's up there, and with the bubbles that we have to live in these days, we can't have him back just yet. But that's great for Liam. That's not a problem. That's what we're here for. That's what we want. Ben Bottomley's been up there. He's had training spells with the first team. Certainly, I think we'll probably be going again next week with the international break that's coming up. So it's one of those things, but get thrown at you. The testing times, but you've got to crack on. It's all part of the experience.
In a way, that might build them better as future footballers as well, because they've gone through a unique situation, which might build their characters a lot more.
Well, it'd be nice to think so. As you say, it's unique. I've been in the game a hell of a long time. Some said too long. But nobody's gone through it before. It's not just football. It's the world. Nobody's had in anybody's lifetime. Nobody's gone through this, so it's all new. It's all, as I said, it's part of the experience. It's a new chapter in the book.
You've got a new wave of first-year scholars as well coming through. Some we have already had a little bit of a look into last year, but some we haven't. How have they managed to settle into the team?
Yeah, they're working hard. They're trying to. What you usually find with the new boys, the first years, some will settle quicker than others. That's natural. That happens every year, and it's the same year. Some take a little bit longer, but yeah, we can't complain at the hard work that they put in. They obviously, quite rightly, they're keen. It's a great opportunity for them. And they've worked ever so hard. We've waited so long to get up and running again. As an under 16, they get the decision made that you're going to be an apprentice footballer. They're absolutely made up with that. They're over the moon. And then all of a sudden they get this massive delay, and they're just itching to get started. So, yeah. They just want to get through the door. Once the sort of the younger ones, they're all young, but they come through. They're not looking at what's happening outside the fences of the Keepmoor. They're not looking into the politics of the world. They just want to go out there and play football. Quite rightly so. And they don't want that worry. So as I say, I think it's a release for them.
Now to the opening two games of September. It's been unfortunate back-to-back 1-0 defeats for your side against Scunthorpe and Lincoln. In your opinion, where did things go wrong in them games?
At the minute, we're not creating anything from You know, we've the effort's there, as I've just said. The hard work's there. They've just got to be a little bit more cute, a little bit more clever. Certainly in the opposing half, in the attacking third. You know, we lose 1-0. You know, you're never going to be happy, but it's sort of, as a defender and things like that, you're never always going to keep a clean sheet. And to keep it down to 1-0, you've sort of got to start questioning, well, they're doing their job in a way, the back line, the goalkeeper. What can we do a little bit different up front to start scoring? And that's what we've been working on this week, actually. So, yeah, we've had a look at it. We obviously, as you know, we always analyse things, and we just carry on working. Just carry on working.
I suppose it makes it harder for the front line as well, because they've got big shoes to fill from the last 2 years with the likes of Reeves, Bucock, Jack Watson, who have all been in fine scoring form. There's loads of others we can name as well. So does that give them a bit more pressure or inspiration to look towards?
Give them inspiration, you know. I mean, you look at, you mentioned Reeves there. I'm not saying Reeves didn't deserve it, but you know, he got his contract based on, he got, what was it, 23, 24 goals in the season.
Yeah.
You know, so if you can prove to the manager you're a goal scorer, I mean, you've got a hell of a chance. But you know, it's not always down to the forwards. It's, are we creating enough chances for them? Are we giving them enough efforts on goal? So we've looked at it all from back to front, and you know, as I said, they're keen. They want to put it into practice, and they've been working hard on the training ground. Sometimes it just, the keenness that they show takes over. You know, they just need to then, okay, well, I'll drop down again, a little bit more composure rather than running around like an headless chicken. You know, so if anything, it just, there is a lot of that. You have to start listening to a little bit to the instructions that's being asked of them, from myself and the rest of the coaching staff, and you know, hopefully we'll get there one day.
Who's been chosen as your captain this season?
I've chosen Ethan Borgia. He started off last season ever so well. He had a really good start. Obviously, he got injured, missed a fair bit out through there. But I just thought Ethan was. There's a few leaders in there. There's 3 or 4 leaders, but Ethan just appealed to me to give him a shot.
And now looking ahead to October, you've got 3 league games against Huddersfield, Mansfield and Notts County in the league. Have you set any targets for those games?
Score a goal. No, not really. No, it's very difficult to set targets at youth level. You know, I mean, yeah, we want to win games. It was great last year. We won the title. But the bottom line is, you know, we're trying to get these lads professional contracts. You know, and unfortunately, they're not all going to get them. So but the players themselves are relying on the teammates to help them get a contract. So that's the big picture. If we can sort of improve weekly from game to game, then I'll be happy with that.
And finally, you've got some tough games coming up in the Youth Lights Cup as well against Preston and Bolton. Does that benefit the player development coming up against harder teams like them?
Yeah, definitely. You know, you're playing against better teams. Well, saying better, you know, they're obviously still in the same bracket as us. But I know I do know what you mean, and yeah, you know, it's like any level. You know, a professional player, if you're a League One player, you want to play against Premiership clubs in the cup just to test yourself out, and it should be the same for these. You know, put yourself in that position where you're being tested week in, week out. You know, that'll make you better as well. You'll improve that way.